So I'm Patrick Barkham and I'm a writer and a journalist, and most of the time I work for The Guardian and I write about wildlife and nature for them, but I've also written books and they're all about kind of nature and Britain. So I've gone around Britain in search of all 59 species of British butterfly for a book called The Butterfly Isles, and I was born in Norfolk and I've, like many people, went away and worked in London for a number of years, and then I've returned here with my family and I'm very happy to be back in my home county. There's a couple of things that I would love to do as president of Norfolk Wildlife Trust, and I would like to just say what an amazing honour it is, and I honestly couldn't quite believe it when I was asked, and I feel sort of I am not worthy, but I'd really like to try and do my best and help Norfolk Wildlife Trust in whatever way I can. But there's a couple of things that I'd love to do, and one is to help inspire children to get involved with nature and help support Norfolk Wildlife Trust's efforts there, because I know they've been doing some brilliant things with young children and parents to help reconnect children with nature, and so anything that I can do there, I think that would be really great. Favourite species of Norfolk wildlife, this is fairly obvious, is the swallowtail butterfly. And you know, we're here, it's the wrong time of year of course now, but we're here at Ranworth and we would come here and perhaps see a swallowtail darting over the reed beds. And I fell in love with butterflies when I was a little boy in Norfolk, and coming to the Norfolk Broads and seeing the swallowtail, it's our biggest butterfly species in Britain. It looks like an escapee from a tropical butterfly house. It's really exciting, it's exotic, it's got big tails, and it's the kind of king and the queen of the Broads, and you see it floating around on a June day, and it's a lovely sight. So that's my favourite Norfolk wildlife. I think the best thing about living in Norfolk is the space and peace that you can get within kind of 15 minutes of Norwich, but if you go a bit further. I mean, the bit of Norfolk that I really love is the coast, obviously, and not just the North Norfolk coast, but the East Norfolk coast, and just that sense of peace and space and balance between people and other wildlife species is just so lovely. And if you're ever feeling kind of stressed or anxious or sad, if you go and walk on the beach between Wells and Holcombe, say, you're going to feel like 100% better as soon as you come home from that little trip. So we're really lucky in Norfolk, aren't we? We've got coast, we've got Broads, we've got beautiful woodlands, but I think it's that coastline for me that's my favourite. I think what's special about Norfolk Wildlife Trust is simply that it's about Norfolk and it's local to us, and that we live in an age where it's really easy to feel despairing about the environment and nature and climate change and feel like there's nothing we can do. And I feel like the only thing we can do to counterbalance that despair with hope is to do things locally and try and improve our local patch, and that's what Norfolk Wildlife Trust is doing, and I just think that's so meaningful, and we can all contribute and we can see what difference we make as members just by going to a reserve, and we can also feel like it's our charity, and you know, Norfolk Wildlife Trust is small enough to be kind of visible and accountable to us as ordinary members, and so I think that's really special. There's not a sort of big gap. It's not like our money goes into a distant bureaucracy and an office and we don't know what happens to it. We see where it goes in places like this, in Ranworth and in Hickling and in Foxley and in, you know, Holme next to the sea, and so, you know, I think that's what makes it special, that it feels like it's our charity. It's not just a charity that we respond to. And of course it's the oldest wildlife trust, it's definitely the best, and yeah, it's great. Norfolk Wildlife Trust's biggest challenge today, I think, well, we're faced with overwhelming environmental challenges like climate change and extinction crisis, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed by those challenges. But I think the biggest one in Norfolk now is that we have these fantastic nature reserves. They're the kind of jewel in the crown around Norfolk, and nature reserves and Norfolk Wildlife Trust reserves are the gift that keeps on giving, and they're brilliant, and protecting them is such an important job, but it's somehow linking them up in a wider landscape and enabling nature and wildlife, other species, to move between them. Of course, you know, birds, insects, mammals, they don't just stay in one little reserve, and we want wildlife and nature. Oh, there's a Chetty's warbler just singing over there, that's lovely to hear. We want wildlife and nature spreading out across the whole of Norfolk. We don't want barren fields of nothingness and then tiny fragments of nature reserve. And so it's connecting up these reserves. Obviously Norfolk Wildlife Trust can't buy up the whole of the Norfolk countryside, but maybe there are more reserves that they can acquire. But it's getting everyone in Norfolk to care about Norfolk's wildlife and live more gently with it. And I think we can do that because people are more aware and conscious and worried and concerned and wanting to do something about wildlife and nature than ever before. And it's harnessing that desire and making it a reality on the ground in Norfolk. I think that's the challenge, and I think Norfolk Wildlife Trust are going to do it.